Hello and welcome to another tutorial related custom skins in rFactor 2 with GIMP. So in this video I would like to show a little bit more on the regions file or the regions groups in the region layers in the GIMP file or in our custom skin. So I've just opened rFactor 2 and also GIMP in the background with the skin we have created in the last videos. The yellow one with the black stripe across it, and if you remember, we had a little bit sparkle from the metallic flake on the flaps. So we could choose another region for the flaps, for example, and it's a little bit tricky in GIMP, so to say, or it's just another method to use. So I'm going over to GIMP, and as we can see, we have just the yellow car or the yellow body with the stripe on it. Now let's switch on the wireframe, and we see there are a lot of things like the spoiler, for example, the flaps and so on, which are not in the basic layer, but have this metallic flake at the moment, because I think it's they have no special region layer assigned. So we will do this. Let's say the mandatory things like this, like the flaps, for example, are black or kind of black. I think it's a material assigned here in the template. It's called carbon or the carbon, and we would like to specialize it a little bit with the material manager. So as we have a layer mask here and a layer group, as you can see, we would like to fetch all things which are in the layer group, and we would like to fetch all things which have been masked. So click on the mask itself. There's a white square around it if it's selected, and right click on your mouse and then say mask to selection. So next step would be like before, we just select a region layer. I would like to use the red one. Right mouse click and say add layer mask, and we need again a black full transparency layer. So add it and just select it. We can switch on the visibility and switch off the wireframe, and as before we need to select the bucket fill tool with white foreground color, and we need to fill these areas. So now we have our custom skin just yellow with the black stripe on it, and we have the flaps or the carbon material mapped to the red region layer. So we need to export the regions. So right click somewhere in the regions dialog, say flatten image, and then go over to file, export as. We need to go to our custom skin directory. I'm still using the 488 GT3, and we need to export the region file. So I've already done this in a test before. Just say export, say replace, and here's the export dialog. We are just taking DXT5. We save the selected layer because we have only one, and we generate bitmaps. So say export. It will take a couple of seconds, depends on your computer. Press Ctrl Z, and we go over to rFactor. Go to the single player mode, select the car as before, click on Customize, and maybe you click the bucket fill tool because we would like to adjust the red layer. We switch the skin. Normally, as we enter the material manager or the showroom, the region file should have been loaded already. So if we zoom and go to the flaps, we can see the sparkle is gone of the metallic flake strength. Sorry. We could just simply assign another material to it, to the red layer, because the flaps are on the red layer, and we should see that the blue metallic flake is still on the side of the car, but not here. This is carbon. So we could increase the effect, switch over maybe chrome, but to shiny carbon fiber, and you see we have just a little bit more or we switch back and it's looking this way. So as we would like to remove the metallic flake here, we need to go back to GIMP again, and we have to also to assign the material or the things which are in group 1 to the red layer. We could do this also, or we could do this in addition. Just select the layer mask or the layer group mask, right click on your mouse, say mask to selection, and you see there are another areas which are selected. Just select the layer mask of the red region and yeah, select the bucket fill tool, white foreground color, and now click on one of the areas. So you see some more areas have become red. So we need to export the regions file again, and we say right click, mouse, flatten image, and now we can say Control E, which is a shortcut for export, because we have exported the alt region file before. Control Z in order to undo our last step and go back to rFactor. We need to reload the skin, and as we have the window file or still in our custom directory, we need to switch over to Alt-TUT skin, and if you zoom, then you see the metallic flake is gone, and it's dependent on the red layer. So we could choose another material as you like it. I think the material of the of the window frames is also dependent on it. Don't know why. Maybe we could choose this in the Windows template. I don't know. So, okay, we still have the metallic flake on our car body paint. We have removed it from the flaps, and yeah, we could add some more painting, for example, and give it another touch on another material. So go back to GIMP, switch off the regions group, and now we say we use another layer. So we're creating a new layer, right click in the layer dialog, new layer, and we call it just square. Maybe. So we have another layer, and yeah. Click on the select tool somewhere here. We could, or just we make it visible, we would like to have a square over here, and we fill it with yeah, black color again, like the stripe. Whoops, we need to click on the bucket fill tool, sorry. So we have created a square on the door, I think, on the left door. So if we like to have the square on the right side, we could just use the rectangle select tool again and fill it and so on. We could also do, or we could also use a line to just mirror the square, and that's pretty easy. Go to image, and we need a guide. We say it's a new guide. Oh, sorry. We need to find out the middle of the car, so to say. And so we increase the view to say up to 200%. No, it's too much, so 100%. And I think this point over here would be the middle of the car. So we need to record or to write down the coordinates 1443 21078. And it's the 1443 we need to remember. So go to image, go to guides, say new guide, and then we need a vertical one. We have, and now we have a guide. So we are still on the square layer. So switch back the view, maybe to 25%. This will fit. And we can go over here, and we need the flip tool. So just take it, and now you see we have just flipped over the square to the other side. We don't want this way because we want two squares. So just say right click, duplicate layer, so we have a copy of the square, and this one could be flipped. Just click on the guide and now this way. So we have two squares. We could switch off the wireframe. So, and normally we would have to say alpha to selection on each layer we have created. So we could add a layer group, doing this way, new layer group, and we could simply move the square layers to the layer group. So just click on it, hold the left mouse button and move it around. So now we can say, or now we can select the layer group, say alpha to selection, and we will use, for example, the blue region. We could also use the green one because it should be the same material like the stripe. And so we select the layer mask of the green layer, and we use the bucket fill tool, switch over to white color and fill the squares. So first of all, flatten image, Control E to export the regions file, and of course we need to export the skin as well. So Control Z, switch off the regions group, flatten the image again, and now File, Export As, and we overwrite this file. So replace it, export dialog, Control Z again, and go over to rFactor 2. You see we have no squares on the doors, but we could reload the skin, switch to our custom skin. Yeah, and there we have the squares on the doors. So it's absolutely symmetrical, or more or less absolutely. And yeah, as you see, changing the material of the green layer will change the stripe and also the squares. So yeah, I hope it helps again and makes painting with rFactor 2 or for rFactor 2 a little bit easier. So as every time, thanks for watching, have fun.